Welcome back to the channel, everybody. For those of you who have been with us for a while here on the channel, you've seen this place. We're in Central Oregon. This is the Petersen Rock Garden. We were here last July, maybe a day or two before they closed. And the future of this place was up in the air, to say the least. We didn't know what the future held. And this is a very interesting kind of old roadside attraction, which is very cool. Well, it got saved. Somebody purchased Petersen's Rock Garden and they saved it. So we are going to walk around, look at it all nice and cleaned up. They have the museum, which we'll ask them to unlock the museum for us, and it should be good. A lot of super fascinating rocks here.
A lot of work since we last were here.
We haven't even walked in it all, and I can tell that they did a lot. It's so cool. I mean, we've been here 3 times now.
Yeah.
We initially came here as part of one of our first kind of rock outings, I guess you could call it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we picked up, they used to sell stuff in a little gift shop. And we picked up some Moroccan geodes that we cracked. All of that obsidian. That's good use for it. So this building here, this used to be the little diner. Got some peacocks over there. They sure are pretty. Little dinosaurs walking around. This looks so much better than what it did.
Yeah, I can't imagine the work to clean up a pond.
Yeah, this looks incredible. A lot of volcanic around here. I really wanted to walk over here though. There's just like such an incredible amount of rock to look at, like from obsidian, cool piece of agate, like.
It's also a lot of like, these are really big pieces of rock, like getting that out somewhere, hauling it back here, getting it there, like just the amount of work and sheer amount of rock is just very impressive.
Petrified wood, thunder egg. It's like you kind of need to come here twice. You kind of need to come here twice to be able just to like see it all and appreciate what was built here.
You show the thing we were walking on before from this over here. It looks different from over here than when you're on it. I've never seen a peacock feather, but it's normal feather sized.
It's their little feathers.
You're supposed to leave them. Oh, here's a fossil. Well, look, that's lasted plenty of time. Everyone's like, you gotta do all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That one's, yeah.
It's hard, like,
There's a whole wall of like retroidal.
yeah. I mean, it's almost like hard to really look at. We could probably spend time just analyzing this one wall of this one building. That's a big piece from Hampton.
Yeah, there you go. That's that green.
Very nice. And then that piece of petrified wood from Arizona. Well, they were kind enough to open up the museum, and we'll walk around and look at some of these. It has been a long time since we have been here. So look, we got some. That's probably rhyolite from Utah. Lots of stuff.
Quite this variety.
I mean, the old fireplace. That's crazy. It's hard to even. So that's gonna be like slag glass. Nice big piece of slag. So many thunder eggs. Man, very cool. Very cool. I don't recognize that one. Can our next house have a fireplace like this?
Yeah, start cutting.
Beautiful piece of jasper up there. Yeah, this place is really, it's always just incredible to see. Yeah, the blacklight room. Very cool. Oh, that's better.
Which UV spectrum is that?
That's got to be long wave, because I can see up here at the top there's a little bit of glow. That's so cool. Some good stuff in there, for sure. You see some phosphorescence happening. Different artifacts.
So just a big piece of... Is that jasper?
I don't know what that is.
Like, do you want to come in here like with a spray bottle of like iron, not iron out, or like some sort of acid, and like get that nice and clean?
Well, we gotta look at some of these giant crystal plates from Arkansas. Look at that. That's pretty good even for like Arkansas standards. And it looks like there's some more cases down here of some Arkansas material. This is one thing that I have wanted to really see. With these cases in here, I think there's some fantastic stuff. I mean, that petrified wood up there, those are really amazing slabs.
Very nice. A lot of it's labeled too.
Yeah, so the Petersen Rock Garden, I mean, I don't think I would be able to really do the history of this place justice. But, I mean, it was a kind of classic roadside attraction. Garden. I mean, obviously, we'll go outside here shortly and we'll look at all of this, but I really wanted to kind of document some of the museum here. I mean, look at these spheres. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
And that snowflake obsidian sphere. That reflection. Septarian nodule. You're not going to really be able to see, but that's a Lucky Strike egg in there.
I wonder if people just started bringing their rocks, like coming here and they're like, this guy likes rocks, I'm going to bring in my
That's a good
thunder
question.
egg.
Yeah.
So there's really a variety from all around.
The angel wing agate is amazing. Huh. That's incredible.
Where does that come from?
I have no idea. I can't remember at all.
Very unique looking.
Yeah, more angel wing. Crazy.
Very nice mineral specimens on that. Don't know.
I don't recognize that.
Jasper and silver?
Probably, yeah. No.
I mean, not silver, but some
like
sort of
lead?
metal. Yeah. Interesting. Oh,
nice piece of copper sulfates.
What happened to that one that crumbled?
So that was probably like some cinnabar and it decayed.
Wow.
There's just so much. There is so much to see. I could not recommend this place enough. I'm going to put down below all of like the pertinent info. I mean, like that's such a killer display of Richards. We got like all Richardson's eggs in here. I don't recognize that triple. I don't recognize that. There's more angel wing. Some just like chilling.
You think that's a Dugway?
Yeah, that's a Dugway Thunder egg.
Oh, that's interesting. Kind of triple that one. Oh, such a good lucky
Yeah,
strike.
that's a great lucky strike. That's also a pretty good one. That's a good one.
I go by Jimmy or
Jimmy.
JR.
Okay, Jared. Obviously, that's
Jared.
Sarah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. I was watching your video as I was grappling with my job here. I started scouring YouTube and I noticed you had visited when things were looking a little bit different.
Yes.
So I'm very excited that you're back.
You guys have done an impressive amount of work in the past year. It's very beautiful, very cleaned up. And you were kind of telling me about some of the future plans for this place.
Yeah, it's an easy place to allow the dreams to drift and to become large. It's almost problematic how easy it is to get hyped out here with the possibilities. People are coming through every day with so much gratitude. It's a beautiful thing.
So there is the diner.
There is the diner.
The diner used to be a functioning diner.
Apparently for about 9 years in the 60s it was that. And then one day they just closed it. And that was that. My whole life I peeked in the window, so it's rather astonishing to me that the reality that presents itself where I get to be involved with making it something again, and that looks like in the short term we'll be telling the story as best we know how of this place, both historically and since it was purchased and everything.
Can we talk briefly about the history of this place?
Yes.
Because I think there's varying stories out there about it.
Indeed.
When did Petersen start this beautiful place?
Well, if you want to take it all the way back, he purchased and began homesteading this. It was 256 acre parcels back then in 1906, and I started the process of making it farmable and started farming potatoes and mint, which there's a lovely little mint patch over there as a throwback to what it used to be the main crops, right? Mm-hmm. And what you find in Central Oregon, if you're a potato farmer, is you get as many rocks as potatoes every year. Every year they come back. And so, I think that so when the Bulletin posted about us, someone posted in the comments that his dad employed Rasmus before he had this place, or during the time he was developing this place, before the museum or the monument stuff happened. And it was beautiful. He came back to the dinner table and his dad would say, "Oh, Rassie's gonna starve. All he thinks about is rocks." And I just love that, because he had clearly caught the bug that so many of us have, and then probably was digging up arrowheads and all sorts of amazing stuff with the potato rocks. And so the clue to that is the first monument on the west side of the house over there is all potato-sized rocks. And he made it for his wife. I imagine she was like, "What are you going to do with all these rocks, Rassie? I'll make you a beautiful monument." So that was in 1935. And so it was 30 years of toil. I found a little printed out information sheet in a rock book that said he was quoted as saying shortly before his surprisingly sudden death in 1952 that if you had told him that he would have built this museum, or this rock garden, he would have never believed you. But he stood by the fact that it was nothing compared to all those years of hauling off tons of rocks as a potato farmer. So you can imagine he was very popular in the community. Once he got going, everyone would come visit. As a potato farmer, he knew everyone. Everyone loved him. It was like, so he knew all the mines, all the different claims, all the people that were also rockhounds that would, you know, it became a field of dreams of sorts that he never stopped building. So not only would they come here, they would bring their rocks here if they were getting on in age. All that. So lots of stories coming in about people whose parents helped him build that monument in the parking lot. A lady came in that had worked in the cafe. I'm hoping she comes back. She wouldn't let me film her.
Speaking of filming, you have a YouTube channel.
We have a Petersen Rock Garden YouTube channel that we're planning on doing sort of a hybrid of like mini documentary, historical style things mixed with some project videos. We have a lot of fun. I mean, the rock cutter right just in the other room is going to be so fun to go through.
Yeah.
And I mean, fun. It's a huge mess, but it's just this idea of including an audience makes it so much more. There's a big feeling of gratitude you get here. Like I've never worked as hard as I have here, nor have I ever felt as rewarded.
So bringing us up to current history, about a year ago, July 22, the property was kind of in a state of disrepair. That's when we were here last.
Yes.
And we did our filming because we were like, I really wanted to capture it. Because I was like, what's going to happen to this place? Is it going to get bulldozed? I had no idea.
I was tremendously concerned myself.
I think there was a lot of people that were highly concerned about this place and preserving it. It's fantastic that you guys have taken this on as a project.
Oh yeah, and it's a labor of
love.
And
the property changed hands.
Yep.
Correct. So it's safe. It's going to be here for the
very
future.
Safe. And the only way it will ever change hands again is if it moves into a land trust, community run. You know, that's definitely something that's been talked about. Like, how do we move towards making it even more for everyone? That's our, you know, we're here for the kids that come through every day with their eyes wide open and looking around in wonder, and then like the people that are like 60, 70, 80 with the same look on their face because the last time they were here was when they were that age. And so it's a really special situation. So yeah, we have plans to fix up the main house. We're going to be doing the conversations in the cafe. I want to turn that into a hourly photo rental, kind of photo shoot rental situation, so we can just start utilizing the aesthetics as they are. And raise funds to, you know, we'll have food carts eventually, and it'd be great to have a neutral kitchen for them, more than that being a functional diner again, with maybe ice cream and soda in there, because that's what people seem to remember the most.
That's exciting. I can't wait to come back in a couple of years and see where you guys ended up with it.
And then like the 100-year plan is pretty grandiose, to be honest, which will be 12 years from now. So that we're in the flight path, so I noticed that we should totally light them up again, obviously, and then build a new monument that's visible from the sky.
That's amazing.
You know, and just really bring back, you know, ask the county. The county's been very supportive, and we're like, well, okay, do we get to put all the signs back on the road? Do we get to have Renaissance fairs again? Obviously, we need to have a Crystal Gem Fest here at some point.
That would be amazing.
So all these things are being talked about, and we're just building a good team, a good foundation to handle, because there's a lot of money that wants to get poured on this place, and that's pretty complicated.
Well,
if it happens all at once, you know.
When the time comes to build a new monument, I know a guy that knows where there's a lot of rock.
I know. Well, and that's what I wanted to show you out back, is we're not suffering for a lack of rocks.
Okay, yeah, I want to see the rock, the outback
It
rocks.
feels like an enchanted field where you could get lost in a dimension next to this one where you're just looking for rocks, you know, because it's one of those things where if you're out in the field, you see something, you're like, oh, but out here, that tendency is completely overloaded. There's just beautiful stuff everywhere.
It's a little overwhelming walking through. You know, it's like your eyes can't really fixate on one thing because you're like, well, there's 3,000 agates right there.
Yeah,
or,
any one of
just
those pieces,
giant pieces
if
of
you
petrified wood
found
everywhere.
you would be so stoked, right?
Yeah. Well, can we go look at the rocks out back?
Let's check it out.
So yeah, an old 24-inch saw, homemade.
Some sort of mechanism here that makes it.
Yeah, so it's auto feed, so the carriage moves into the blade. I mean, it looks perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be so fun to go through and detail it.
So I've never seen the shop in here.
This is Rassie's.
Beautiful Richardson's high-speed sander.
Yep. This is where he spent a lot of his time.
Oh wow.
So pardon the mess. I really.
No, I mean it's a shop. It's a
and
shop.
like I said, I just had my teenagers here. I just took them back to Astoria, but through here you'll see what I mean. I'm overwhelmed because every day I walk around and I pick up more rocks that I kick. So I picked all those up out of the ground.
Oh wow.
All those up out of the ground. Everywhere over here is rocks. amazing
Oh yeah,
rocks.
there's just kind of little piles.
Yeah, I think this
everywhere.
is where he had he would bring his wagons in here and have them in various piles, maybe another type of wagon, so he could go around with an assortment and start building monuments, I'm imagining. And then you'll find all sorts of cut rocks in the ground here, so it was all being processed. Yeah, I just pulled half of these out of the ground right here. There's still more.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just,
cut agate and
it's like,
it's just everywhere.
it's everywhere. It's overwhelming. And it's kind of like enchanted because you have the meth era still here too, right? Unfortunately. But we get to live with that in community, and that's what this place is ultimately about, this community. I dug all those rocks up out of this area.
I think that's
And look at the ingenuity of Rasmus, right?
yeah.
Fixed a shovel with these elegant shelf handles. So it's like this dual treasure hunt of rocks and memorabilia and ephemera and piecing the story together. So we're in love with the process. We're here for the long haul. Committed to it's really, there's all the energy in the world wanting to be poured on this place, positive, and it's about facilitating that. Look at this final display. Almost got my car stuck in this this was all overgrown.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean it's just like you need
to put whatever he was digging potatoes up, you need that.
So I think this is going to be a fun part of the YouTube channel, is like going through the field, almost like an archaeological dig, you know. And then, yeah.
Well, there's going to be, I'll put links down below this to everybody. Is there any way we can poke our heads in the diner?
That'd be awesome. All right. Yeah, so this is just look at that, the chairs and that.
It's just like it's all here.
The prices over there, pretty astonishing. I have ambitions of having little tiny desk style music shows in here as well. It's so beautiful. Like, as is, we don't really even need to do that much. Yeah.
This is so great in here. I can't believe
so
it. It's a time capsule.
It's an absolute time capsule. Take a look around here on the other side of the bar.
Oh wow. All of the original.
So yeah, this is obviously there needs to be photo shoots in here. It's got all the props.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Can you imagine like weddings and you could have all the bridesmaids sitting around and all the grooms and stuff? I mean, it's just, we're just gonna start remaking all the old memorabilia. Cool. You can open it up and it folds out.
Oh wow.
And it has destinations, local destinations.
I would buy one of these.
And then if you flip it, it's got the rock garden.
That's amazing. Yeah, you should start reprinting some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then this is a beautiful, there's just little things that were written in different eras that fill out the picture. Enjoy the blooms of these rock gardens, but do not overlook the stories of the rocks.
I love it. I love it. Petrified wood. Man, very cool. Like the scale of it. The scale is just so impressive.
Someone from the like BLM or, you know, public land saw this and they're like, maybe we should have a 200-pound limit. Maybe we need to put some limits on things, because how many tons of rock has this person collected?
That dendritic agate right there. I would love a pond like this.
This is such a great, like, we got the birds and the cattails and ducks in the pond. Flowers are, I'm sure, really pretty when they're out. Oh, maybe there's a couple over there that are flowering.
A bench of thunder eggs.
Yeah.
That.
What is this? Is this basalt?
So, scoria, I believe. So it's, you know, it's basalt. What's that?
Which just got
Scoria, though.
what, like dried in a certain way. Like,
so my knowledge of scoria is limited.
oh. We'll have to look it up later.
Yeah. We don't have any scoria where we're from, so I haven't spent any time
Where's it from?
here. Central Oregon is where you're going to find, well, where this stuff came
I
from.
see.
So they used to have these swan boats out in the pond back in the day. That's so cool that it's still here.
Another nice slab table.
So much agate. A ceiling of agate.
Yeah. It feels like a lot of bees in here.
A ceiling of obsidian. I feel like we've failed.
We don't have that much obsidian.
I have no agate or obsidian ceilings.
Never even thought to make one. Now you know you don't have it. Now you need it.
I also have nowhere near enough skipping stones.
That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
If you're gonna have a column on your house, why not?
I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to come back here and see this place entirely, not entirely restored, on the road to being restored. You have any thoughts on it?
It's really nice to come back. Yeah, like seeing it restored, seeing it with some understanding of what we're looking at.
Yeah, it was very cool to see the inside of the diner. It was neat to see his rock saw that he made.
Yeah.
That was definitely a homemade saw. Maybe a kit. It's kind of hard to tell. Homemade enough. And I don't remember the swan boat. I think we saw it last year. I don't know.
Might have been completely encased by weeds.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you are ever in Central Oregon, definitely come and check out the Petersen Rock Garden. I'm going to put all the links to everything that you would need to come out here, and it is well worth coming off of the highway to see it.
Definitely.
The museum is very cool. Very cool. All right, everybody. Y'all take care, and I will catch you in the next video.